People usually think that World War I started with some grand evil master plan, hatched in a dark smoky room by a bunch of brilliant military geniuses. But no. It actually started more like the most toxic high school group chat in human history, where a tiny fistfight behind the gym somehow dragged the principal, the police, and the entire neighborhood mafia into a massive, uncontrollable street brawl. Picture this. It is 1914. Europe is an absolute powder keg, just waiting for a spark. And that spark comes from a 19-year-old kid named Gavrilo Princip, who somehow manages to assassinate Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary with a pistol. And the absolute craziest part? He only succeeded because the Archduke's driver literally took a wrong turn, panicked, and practically parallel parked the car right in front of the assassin who was just standing there buying a sandwich. Honestly, you literally cannot make this stuff up if you tried. So, Austria-Hungary is furiously angry. They look at Serbia and say, "You did this, you little punk. We are going to end you." Austria-Hungary wants to completely obliterate Serbia off the map and wipe them from existence. But there's a tiny, terrifying problem. Serbia is basically the little brother of the mighty Russian Empire. And Russia is massive, heavily armed, and extremely protective of their little Slavic siblings. Austria-Hungary starts sweating bullets. They desperately need backup. So they run over to their best friend, the mighty German Empire, and say, "Hey man, if I punch Serbia in the face and Russia tries to jump me, you have my back, right?" Germany, who is currently high on pure imperial confidence and military arrogance, does not even hesitate for a single second. They hand Austria-Hungary what historians call the blank check. It basically means, bro, do whatever you want, go totally crazy, unleash hell, and I will handle all of the consequences. Feeling completely invincible, Austria-Hungary decides to send Serbia an ultimatum. But they do not just send a normal, reasonable list of diplomatic demands. Oh no. They sit down and write a 10-point list of the most ridiculous, insulting, and downright impossible demands they can possibly think of. They want to make absolutely sure that Serbia says no, so they have a completely legal excuse to start a war and look like the good guys doing it. They send the letter across the border and eagerly wait for the rejection. But then, something completely hilarious and unexpected happens. Serbia reads the ultimatum, gets absolutely terrified, and essentially says, "Okay, fine, we agree to almost everything on the list. We are so incredibly sorry. Please do not hurt us. We will do whatever you want." Austria-Hungary reads the Serbian response, blinks in confusion, completely throws away their dignity, pretends they cannot read, and just yells, "Nope, they rejected it. Time to die!" And just like that, Austro-Hungarian artillery begins raining down fiery destruction on the Serbian capital of Belgrade. The diplomatic group chat has officially exploded into real-life violence. And naturally, Serbia starts crying and immediately tags their big brother, Russia, in the chat. Russia, who is probably taking a peaceful nap, wakes up, sees the messages, and gets incredibly angry. They immediately order a massive mobilization of their giant, slow-moving army just to intimidate Austria-Hungary and show them who is the real boss of the Balkans. But Germany sees Russia flexing its military muscles and starts having a total diplomatic panic attack. Germany sends a frantic message saying, "Hey, cancel your mobilization right now, or else we are going to have a massive problem." Russia just leaves Germany on red, absolutely ignored. Seen. No reply. Germany is deeply offended by this blatant lack of respect. So, naturally, in a completely level-headed response, Germany formally declares war on the entire Russian Empire. The group chat is now in absolute chaos. Everyone is furiously typing, but the absolute worst part is still yet to come. You see, Germany suddenly remembers a very inconvenient fact. Russia is best friends with France, and France has been holding a massive, bitter grudge against Germany for like 40 years over a previous war. Germany looks at a map and realizes they are completely sandwiched between two giant enemies. So, instead of waiting for France to attack them, Germany decides to strike first. They dust off a crazy strategy called the Schlieffen Plan. The idea is simple, but utterly insane. Germany will rush in, completely knock out France in exactly 6 weeks, and then quickly turn all their armies around to face Russia, before the slow Russian bears can even tie their boots. It is a brilliant, flawless plan. Except for one tiny little detail. To get to the soft, unprotected side of France, the German army needs to march straight through Belgium. Belgium is a completely neutral country that just wants to be left alone to make chocolate and waffles. Germany politely knocks on Belgium's door and says, "Excuse us, we are just going to march a massive, heavily armed army through your living room to kill your neighbor. Please do not mind us." Belgium stares at them, completely offended, and says absolutely not. Germany says, "Well, we are doing it anyway," and they just smash the door down and invade Belgium. Now, this is where things get truly ridiculous. Across the channel, Great Britain is sitting comfortably, sipping tea, and watching this whole European dumpster fire from a safe distance. Britain really did not want to get involved in a massive continental war. But when they see Germany beating up poor, little, neutral Belgium, Britain suddenly stands up, coughs loudly, and blows the dust off a 75-year-old, almost forgotten treaty. Britain points at the crumbling piece of paper and says, "Actually, we swore a sacred oath to protect the neutrality of Belgium. Therefore, you German rascals have crossed the line." And just like that, the British Empire formally declares war on the German Empire. In the span of exactly one single week, what started as a completely botched, clumsy assassination in a random Balkan city has rapidly escalated into a full-blown, catastrophic global conflict. Millions of young men are now marching to their deaths, all because a bunch of incredibly stubborn, prideful old men tied themselves up in a ridiculously complicated web of secret treaties and absolute foolishness. The dominoes have fallen, and the world is plunging straight into the muddy, rat-infested nightmare of the trenches. But wait, before we jump into the endless slaughter, let us take a quick look over at Italy. Italy is technically a sworn ally of both Germany and Austria-Hungary. They signed the same treaties. They're supposed to be in this fight together. Everyone turns to look at Italy, waiting for them to draw their swords. Italy awkwardly scratches their head, looks at the exploding continent, and says, excuse me guys, but if I remember correctly, our alliance was strictly a defensive pact. And since you guys are technically the ones who started attacking everyone else first, I am just going to casually walk over to the other side and pretend I do not know you. Bye. And there you have it. The deadliest, most senseless war in human history has officially begun. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and leave a comment down below right now, unless you want an Austro-Hungarian ultimatum delivered directly to your front door.